UnScripted, it is the place to go for you to find out the people who truly make Papillion feel like home. Special guest in our second episode, he is the president of the Omaha Storm Chasers and, of course, Union Omaha as well. Martie Cordaro joining us here. We appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, Michael, good to be here. How are you?
Good. I've known you for a long time. I knew you when you had one job.
Okay.
Now, of course, two jobs, even more. What's it been like having the extra responsibility of being president of both clubs?
A bit overwhelming from the standpoint that one is a 53, 54-year mature business, and the other is nowhere close. It's a startup that started during a pandemic.
Yeah.
So, we're digging out of the hole that was 2020, and will probably take some time on the soccer side. Baseball has come back a little bit more strongly, more in a more expedient manner than we thought. We thought it'd maybe be 4 or 5 years, and baseball's recovery is probably going to be 2 or 3. We may get there by the end of this year, at least by next year. But soccer, different story. But man, exciting business, a different business, different fan base than baseball, which is actually good because that's a new fan base and new fans and a new demo that's coming to Sarpy County, that's coming to Papillion, to Warner Park, and we should be excited to welcome new people into our community.
Your whole life, basically, you've been pulling people to places, putting crowds together, whether it's playing the drums or as someone with minor league baseball. What was that like? Like limiting the amount of people or watching sporting events without the people that your job is to bring them in?
I've never thought about that. I guess even going back further, I used to hold circuses in my playroom attic down in Louisiana, and I actually charged my parents to come watch the circus I was putting on. So I guess I've always
Doesn't shock me.
I've always been doing that. Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Different, and I believe that part of our challenge in getting new people to try soccer is the misconception that we sell out every game. Because we did sell out every game in 2020, but it was either at 2,300 or 2,500,
Right.
depending on what time of the season it was, instead of 7, 8, 9,000. So it's something we continue marketing-wise, PR-wise, to fight a little bit optically. But yeah, it was strange. It was really strange, and we did have to stop selling. We could have continued to sell tickets, 3,500, 4,500. Who knows what that ceiling would have been in 2020, but it was a great first year. We did sell out. It was something for people in the community to do because the USL was the first professional college, amateur sports league, what have you, in North America to welcome fans back to our home venues. And we were kind of the guinea pigs. And we did it safely that year. And we got to the end of the season. Obviously, we weren't able to play the championship in Greenville due to COVID. But it was a great first year. But, yeah, it was really odd. No, we can't sell you any more tickets. Yeah, that was strange.
I remember going through the process of you guys decided you're going to go someplace. Obviously, it wasn't going to work going downtown. And there was a bunch of different locations and got narrowed down to 3, and then obviously Warner Park. How has it worked out? Like, in terms of what you thought it would be, how has it worked out?
I think in terms of what I thought it would be from a relationship with the Royals, it's been fantastic. They were great, through 2010 at Rosenblatt. They remain great now, even though some of the people have changed. AJ Piccolo's now the GM instead of Dayton Moore. But, that aspect's been great. From a community perspective, it's about what I expected. We felt we would be welcomed in Sarpy County and Papillion. And, that started off really strong. And then it crescendoed really in the 17, 18 seasons. And then 19, had a little bit of a challenging season in 19. And then 2020 happened. So it's almost like we're kind of rebuilding the mousetrap, if you will, right now. But as far as the area that we really didn't know what would happen, we hoped we would have a lot of special events. We hoped we would be able to do different things in baseball. That's really been overwhelming. We had 300 some odd special events in 2021. We had 181 special events in 2020 during COVID. And part of that is professional soccer. And, if Warner Park weren't here, and I tell people this a lot, because how come you're playing soccer in a baseball stadium? You should be playing here or there or whatever. Well, that's great. But if we didn't have Warner Park as a professional baseball stadium here, there wouldn't be professional baseball in Omaha.
Right.
It wouldn't have come. It wouldn't be happening.
Right.
So I take that very serious. I'm very prideful in that. I'm proud that we've been able to launch a new business, and it has been soccer. And who knows where we're going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. But I will urge people, if you haven't tried Union Omaha, come see it, because that's one of the unknowns as it relates to your question on, we didn't really know we'd have professional soccer within 10 years at Warner Park, but we did.
And as it right now, as this taping, they're playing in the Lamar Hunt Open Classic. doing very well. What an amazing event, because you have all these different levels playing each other. It gives you a chance to challenge the big boys.
It does. And, whenever you're ready, you and I can get 9 others together and we can form a beer league soccer team.
Really?
And, and we can enter into that. And those qualifyings, they start December, January, and it leads into February. And then the lower level professional teams start to jump in March, and then MLS in April. And it's quite amazing. 106, 107 years. I think it's a 107-year tournament.
1912, 1913.
Yeah. So, it's... That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, and obviously it didn't happen in 20, it didn't happen in 21, so it was a 2-year hiatus, and it's back, and there's 16 teams left. In the Sweet 16 right now, there's 13 MLS clubs, there's 2 USL Championship, which is a level above us, there's 1 team below that, and we're proud to represent Omaha, Sarpy County, and Papillion, so we're excited about the next round.
The next big thing that's going to happen is outside the walls of Warner Park, right? So the development, that was the big question. You see that happening. The bank is built there. You see the things that are coming. What's your expectation about making it more of a destination spot of people coming?
My expectations are pretty high. I met with, we met with the developer about a month ago, Gary Green, our CEO, and I did. I met with the broker just this past week. And our expectations are high. We look for businesses that are going to be synergistic to what we do, meaning they rely on people, they rely on patrons, and we want businesses that are about customer service and good times and fun and memories and are destination businesses. And it's too early to announce any of those that might be happening or are happening, but we're excited. And if there's anything that we would have thought would have happened before 2022, 2023, it would have been, we would have had some neighbors. But the ballpark opens in 2011. It was the height of the recession. There were only 2 new baseball facilities in the entire country that opened in 11. They were 15 miles apart. They were both here in the metro.
Wow.
And then, you fast forward, and it took a while to come out of that recession. And then by the time we recover, now we're in a pandemic in 2020. So I understand there have been hurdles, but we're really excited about having neighbors.
Why do you think, and I know part of this is your leadership because you've been there the whole time, but why do you think the Royals or the Storm Chasers had their share, right? Obviously, you know them all right away. Why do you think the success has come so quickly to these 2 franchises? Or not quickly, but why has it been sustainable?
On the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the field, it's more difficult, I think, to answer the soccer question than baseball, but I'll answer soccer first. Coach Mims, obviously we were an expansion franchise. We weren't a franchise that, we assumed a number of players. Gary and our group, we didn't buy an existing franchise. So Coach Mims had to put together a squad of unknowns. And think about it. Unknowns, never played together, come to the metro area they've never been to in February, and by March 11th, when the NBA shut down that night, and then March 13th is when we ceased operations as a company, at least in person at that time. What do you do as players? What do you do? Training stopped, everything stopped. So the job that he did for players that were from Ghana, that were from Spain, that were from Florida, that were from the Midwest, to be able to galvanize and create that team, I don't really know how he did it. Quite honestly, that really could have gone south quickly, but it did not, and we finished second in the regular season, and obviously we talked about, not playing in the finals that year due to COVID. And then year 2, wire to wire. First place, I think we were in first pretty virtually the whole season, sans a couple of weeks. We fell into second and third, but, what a remarkable year. So, it's a little early to be able to judge what Coach Mims has done, other than, look, yes, agree that it's been successful. We'll see if it sustains. Right now, it appears that it's going to. On the baseball side, minor league baseball kind of ebbs and flows. As farm systems and talents ebb and flow, you're going to have some good seasons. You're going to have some challenging seasons. What I would say the odd piece to it was 2010, which is last year at Rosenblatt, through 2015. Was an unprecedented time really for any AAA team. And while we won the division 11, 12, 13, 14, and not in 10 and 15, and then we won 3 out of 4 Pacific Coast League championships, and then 2 out of the 3 national championships we played in, back-to-back in 13, 14, the winning's great, but I think our best team at the time that the season ended was when you and I were sitting outside of Rosenblatt Stadium for the very final game.
Right.
And that team was so hot. And we had Mike Moustakas, Gerard Dyson, Lewis Coleman, Tim Collins. The list goes on and on. That was the beginning of the surge that we saw of Royals players. And we won something like 10 out of 11, 12 out of 13 to end the season. And we finished one game out of first in our division. We had the third best record in our division, the third best record in the league, but only division champs went. That team could have been better than any of them. So what a run. Are we seeing that run again in the Royal system? Maybe. You know, it's changed. A lot has changed because of COVID and how they move players between AAA and the big leagues. It's still a taxi squad. So I don't know that we'll ever be able to see a sustaining level of success that we did then. But there is talent here, and the Royals have won championships at AA and at High A and at A-ball over the last 5 years. We would assume that translates to here, but it's a little early to tell. And that's all in the Royals, though. You know, Michael,
Yeah.
I'd love to take credit for, you know, what goes on the field of soccer or baseball, but Coach Mims with soccer and then the Royals with baseball.
Well, they have the sustainability of keeping the same coach. That doesn't happen in any level of baseball, but even Major League Baseball, not the kind of run you guys had. Right?
That's right. And, you know, and we had Jersh through 2013, and then we had Poley from 14 and through 2021, and Poley retired, and, you know, on May 20th we'll be retiring his jersey number,
cool.
and to honor him and what he's meant to not only baseball here in the community, because he's from Carter Lake, Iowa area, but what he meant to professional baseball. And then we'll see. We'll see how long Coach Mims sticks around, but it's been pretty consistent. But having Scott Thorman, you know, Thor played for the Omaha Royals in 2009 and 2010, the last year at Rosenblatt, and you know we look forward to having him for a few years as well.
Yeah, it's 09, 010 to you. Let me ask you this. So I'm always supposed to tell you beforehand, because I didn't do it last time either, but give me something from Papillion, from this area, that you don't think it's enough attention, that you think people should know more about, to go to or to do.
Well, I think there's a few things. I think first off, the special events that we do at Warner Park, pay attention to them. There are a lot of things that are free for families, free opportunities. You know, Centris free movie night. You know, just go to our website, go to our Facebook page, and check out the free opportunities as well as the ticketed ones. But that's something I think that a lot of the community. Oh, I didn't know you were having this or that. That's one thing. The other is Sumter Amphitheater. I mean, there are a lot of great free movie nights, and you know, there's concerts that happen there, and you know, it's a little hidden there behind Papio South, and but I think that's a great spot. I personally like you know, Papillion Days and you know, the carnival, the old school, you know, carnival and the midway that happens, and you know, so those are some things I like. But you know, Brownies is great. Dort's, which isn't around anymore, was one of my favorite little dives.
Yeah.
You know, I love Dort's as well. And
barbecue night, you had taco night.
yeah, absolutely. I got hypnotized there one night with a hypnotist. So yeah, so you know, there are so many things that you think you got to drive, you know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour away to go experience. This right here, along 370 or along 72nd Street and 84th Street, you know, there's a lot of things that are just right here. And, you know, sometimes I think we forget that and we need to get back to it. And then in the wintertime, the Winter Wonderland, the night that, you know, that Mayor Black and, you know, City Council lights up, you know, downtown Papillion, and you can meet Santa Claus, and, you know, they've got book readings in the library. There's just a variety of things that happen. So, you know, whether it's spring, summer, or winter, there's a lot of things to happen.
I need your help, and there's no one more qualified to make this happen. I want to get Papillion, the nickname, officially, to be Star Wars Town USA. There are more people in this area that love Star Wars. You are one of them. I'm one of them. They're throughout the departments here. How do we get that done? How do we make Papillion, at least one day a year, Star Wars Town USA?
Number one, let's do it.
Yes.
Number two, let's figure out how to do it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know the answer to that, but I think on your social media, I didn't get a chance to drive down here on the 4th last week, but it was pretty cool.
It is.
It was pretty cool, and maybe there's something we can do starting with Warner Park with our Star Wars night that can kind of expand with that with the city. So we should talk.
I think we should get it done. Yeah,
should
you know
talk.
who's in charge is that Trent guy.
Yes.
And you guys are both drummers,
yeah.
so you have that
There's in
kismet
common.
thing.
Yeah. I need to grow the beard back, but yeah. Or do I?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
We like young looking Marty. Marty, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, all right,
As
Mike.
always.
Yeah,
thanks a
yeah,
lot.
thank
We
you. Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Join us next time again as we continue to find the people who make Papillion feel like home.